The Season 1 finale of 1883, the Paramount Plus prequel series to Paramount's Yellowstone, might just be the most heartbreaking episode in the entire Yellowstone franchise. First and foremost, there are two major character deaths in the finale, both of whom successfully reach the end of their respective journeys before passing. The first is Elsa Dutton, who, after being gravely wounded by an arrow, makes her father James promise that she can pick the spot where she will die. She ends up choosing a small tree in the gorgeous Paradise Valley and dies peacefully in her father's arms. The scene is gut-wrenching and tragic, though the episode's second major death is by far the more brutal of the two. In a time skip forward, we watch as Shay Brennan finally completes his journey to the West Coast and sits on a beach in Oregon to watch the waves crash against the shore. It was revealed earlier in the series that Shay's only reason for making the journey west was because of a promise he made to his wife Helen, who desperately wanted to see the ocean.
Just look at that, Helen. Isn't it beautiful?
Helen died prior to the series' start, so Shay took it upon himself to let her see the ocean through his eyes. Shay's promise is finally fulfilled, and after staring at the waves for a while, he kills himself so that he can finally be with his wife once more. Given how well audiences had gotten to know Shay throughout 1883 Season 1, his death is undeniably sad, although there is a silver lining that makes the scene a bit less heartbreaking: the unexpected appearance of a hummingbird on the beach, which flits around for a moment looking right at him as if it's trying to get his attention. It doesn't stay long though, and when it leaves, a smile widens across Shay's face, who has finally found peace in his final moments. The 1883 Reddit community naturally began speculating on what this scene and the bird itself means. A prevalent theory is that the hummingbird symbolizes someone visiting Shay from beyond the grave, specifically his late wife Helen. It could be that the hummingbird is indeed Shay's wife, who comes to see him at the end of their long journey to Oregon. After all, seeing what was supposed to be their adventure through to the end was Shay's driving purpose all along, so it makes thematic sense. Still, other fans seem to believe that it's actually an entirely different deceased character. One Reddit user wrote, "It was Elsa. The symbolism of the hummingbird is the epitome of her. Remember her talking about birds in her final moment?" Other users referenced Elsa's conversation with Shay earlier in the episode, which seems to foreshadow his meeting with the bird. As one poster wrote, Elsa did tell him to save a spot for her at the beach if she didn't survive. It seems entirely possible that the hummingbird is meant to symbolize Elsa coming back to visit Shay, just like she said she would.
Come meet you on the beach.
I'll save you a spot.
Then there's the third camp, which includes people who just found the whole scene absolutely tear-jerking and didn't dwell much on the symbolism at all. Calling the scene sad but also beautiful, one person posted, "Shay on the beach with the hummingbird really got me. I know his body and soul were tired and he was ready to be with his wife and daughter." Other users wrote that they loved Shay and Elsa's connection throughout the first season of the series, all the way up to the bittersweet end. Regardless of who the hummingbird really is, its appearance is undeniably heartwarming and makes an incredibly emotional scene even more powerful. Shay Brennan's life was dominated by war, loss, and sadness, which compounded to create the gruff, no-nonsense attitude that became his trademark. At least when he sat on that beach, looked on at the vastness of the ocean, and had the chance to breathe just a little easier, he didn't have to do so alone. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Looper videos about your favorite movies and TV shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.